I started working in the district in 1975. I was employed as a Title I language development teacher. I had come to the district with a master's in early childhood education, and I wanted to be a kindergarten teacher, but because I had no experience, they told me that I would have to start as a professional, a paraprofessional. Not wanting to do that with my training, I found out that positions in language development were open, and so I was hired by Mr. Wilbur Goodseal in 1975. I worked as a Title I language development teacher from 1975 until, after 1975-76, there was this great furlough of teachers, which included me. And so 76-77, I was on furlough. I had wanted to substitute, but that didn't work out for me, and so I took another job altogether during that furloughed year. So I resumed with the district in 1978-79, and I continued as a Title I language development teacher. I was Title I the entire time, but during the 80s, I believe from 1979 to 1983, I was a language development teacher at Weeks. Oh, and let me go back. In 1975, I was at C.A. Franklin as a Title I language development teacher. I resumed in 1978 at Mary Harmon Weeks and also K.B. Richardson School as a Title I language development teacher. Following that, 1984 to 1990, I was a pilot alternative room teacher, better known as PAR. And that concept is there are two teachers in a classroom with 20 students, and the goal was each teacher was responsible for the instruction of 10 of those students, but we did team teach, and it was a good experience. I was privileged to work with people that I could work with. Sometimes that didn't work because the personalities just didn't work, but I was fortunate that I worked with good teachers. We got along very well, and I think we provided excellent instruction for the children. Now, from 1984, I think, to 1990, I was a PAR teacher. In 1990 to 2000, I had several positions. I was a homeschool liaison, homeschool coordinator, parent involvement person, in school suspension teacher, literacy teacher, and finally a reading recovery teacher. And when I retired from the district in 2006, I was a reading recovery teacher. And I must say that I had my reading recovery training in 1998, 1999. And I was able to continue that until I retired. And I was one of the few reading recovery teachers that continued throughout the time that I worked. So I was fortunate and blessed to have that experience. So that is my role as a teacher.
You've had quite a few varied experiences.
I had, and that really helped me a lot. I think my experience as a reading recovery teacher was the best and most insightful and most helpful, and it guided me after I retired in working in the classroom. Reading recovery really helps a teacher to be observative, more reflective, and more prescriptive. And so that training was wonderful. I know that there was unhappiness in the community due to the overcrowding of schools, due to the housing patterns, and the efforts that were put into place were court-ordered, and as a result of the court order, the desegregation plan took place. One of those plans was Plan 6C, and in that, boundaries were drawn, and more money was given to the district. And as a result of more money being given to the district, because it was found that it had been illegally segregated. And so there was better school buildings, there were lower class sizes, there were, let's see, what else? There was more music and art classes, there were more teachers, there were more counselors, there were improved libraries, there was full-day kindergarten, there were before and after school programs, and efforts directed toward working with students that were low achieving. My role as a PAR teacher, I believe, was one of the efforts that was directed at achievement for lower achieving students, because I guess I didn't say earlier, the PAR teachers were working with those lowest students for them to have achievement. I feel that I contributed by being my very best. I feel that I contributed by having high expectations for all the students and myself. I feel that when professional development opportunities were available, I made myself available because it was going to make me better, which was going to help the students to, have the successes that they needed. And so, I really can't give a contribution other than my work. Now, one thing I can say that the school district did provide through this budget was staff development opportunities to travel to other cities to see how some of their schools worked. And so I did have the opportunity to go to the 16th Street School in Milwaukee, where I observed I went and stayed at this school all day, and I brought a lot of good ideas back. And one that I can remember, there was one teacher who had on her bulletin board, "I've got a new attitude." And so I said, oh, that would be good when I go back to school in the fall, because this was like in the spring. When I begin in the fall, I'm going to use that Patti LaBelle thing. I got a new attitude, but it's a new attitude toward learning, a new attitude toward cooperating. And so that first month of school, it was a new attitude. So as a result of just seeing what other schools are doing in other districts that were similar, that was a wonderful thing that was provided. So I contributed in that way. Said I implemented several things. I tried to be open-minded toward things that were going on. I grew up in the segregated Jim Crow South, and so my attitude definitely had to be looked at, and in an open-minded way. You think about others being biased, but I'm biased as well. And so I just have to be honest and say there were some things growing up in the South that were different. And when I came to Kansas City, I just kind of had to observe. And so, but that's how I feel that I contributed to the school integration, just doing my best and following directions and being a team player.